when they can touch the ball, when they can make contact with an opponent, right? Okay, and there's certain times they can and they can't. But all those things, does it rise to pass interference? Because is it significant contact? Is it restricted? That's significant. Yes, sir.
I got something I don't know how we can address this, but we get a lot of first year and second year guys come in as blind judges. I have this problem a lot on Friday nights. Deep coverage, like I said, I gotta keep this guy. And he's trailing 10 yards behind me. And I'm letting them play all night because they just hit hands, whatever, let them play. And when I come this flag, come throwing in, and then they take off and run to the white hand and say, I got pass interference. And they don't discuss it with you. I mean, there's gotta be something we gotta do to say.
So, so the biggest thing I would encourage you to do, and full disclosure, I don't know if I introduced who I was, right? I'm Terry Trout. I am in District 1 up in upstate. I actually am a referee, but I work deep in upper levels in the SoCon Sunbelt SEC. But the point, and I don't say that to say anything other than the experience level, some of the things we can share with you as far as what procedures they may have had in different levels can benefit us. Now, to address your question, in your pregame, you need to become comfortable with your guys. And I realize that is not an easy thing because we got guys with a lot of egos, right? Yeah. I mean, it happens everywhere, right? Workplace, school, wherever, right? Okay. But what we've got to do in pregame and what we've got to do, maybe even before pregame, maybe even as you're talking or going to the games, is talk to the people and get on a personal name so that there is a level of trust. I mean, as a referee, I trust every one of my officials that are on the field. It doesn't matter their experience level. I don't even look at experience level in most cases because I don't want to know. All right. Most people have been around long enough that I know who they are anyway. But in your situation, they've got to be comfortable enough for you to come to them and say, that was not pass interference. There was not enough significant contact. And if you come to me, if I throw the flag, Gary comes to me and tells me that, I have to have the guts to say, you're taking me off the call because you're coming to me. I will pick up my flag. Now, I know that's not easy because there's a lot of egos out there and you got people that you got to dance around, right? But hopefully as an association, as we work with each other, we will develop that trust among everybody, all 500 and something of us or more, that we have that ability to do that. No different than if it was a holding call that a referee comes to the wing guy and says, look, here's what happened. He had him right here. He didn't even grab it. He just pulled him around and it wasn't really a hold. Okay. Now I got to be sure that that is the case when I do that. But nonetheless, I got to have confidence in my fellow official that if he's going to take me off of it, then that's fine. Now, first thing I don't want you to do is say, Gary, I think that wasn't pass interference. Now, if you come to me like that, I'm not picking up my flag, right?
Yeah.
If Gary knows that I made a mistake, or Gary knows that should have been thrown, then he comes to me and says, Terry, that wasn't pass interference. This is what I saw. Pick my flag up, right? But if he comes to me and says, Terry, I think you might have not, what's that do to me? That's like
Putting doubt.
Yeah, puts doubt in my mind, right? So I'm going to stay with what I got in more cases, right? Okay.
Good question.
Yeah, it went back.
Yes, sir. So I got.
On its own. I noticed it.
I had a situation last season. Want to take care of taking.
Go ahead.
Because my official told me I did. So I had a deep pass. I had a receiver. He had his hand out and skipped on it. Then once the ball got close, he pushes off on it. Right? The defender grabs his arm as he pushed off. I do a flag. I do it for offensive interference because he initiated the contact first. He pushed off first. Mine judge, he threw it. He before we did any preliminaries. I seen him throw his flag and I went first. And I said, "Hey, God, I want you to not see all the push first. I do my flag first. It's like you do yours first. You were there, right? It's okay." Then at halftime, came to talk then the clock operator and stuff. He said, he asked us what happened on that play. So how come I thought fast? I always fast and very defense. to him, what happened, right? He said, well, in the office, but he had a pause, so it should have been.
No, definitely not. There's not. I'm just gonna tell you, all right, so there have been philosophies in the past where well, you caught the ball, so I'm not throwing the pass. All right, I'm not throwing the flag, right? I'm not doing that. What happens if you have a hole up the line of scrimmage and you have pass interference? Right? You hit throw pass interference and you have a late hole out. Right.
Ability is not high school football.
Right. Right. So you're a lot better off at throwing the flag. Even if the guy scores a touchdown, you know it's going to be a touchdown, for instance, you can always pick that thing up, right? Okay. But if you don't throw the flag, which one looks better? Pick up a flag or throw it really, really late in the fans' eyes? I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Okay, there's 3 or 4 audiences that we're at, right? We're working for the coaches, right? We're working for the teams, right? But also we're looking for the fans, right? That's why we do signals so that they know what's going on, right? Okay. It's more important to pick up your flag than it is to have a extremely late flag. Right. There are going to be some situations like intentional grounding, that kind of stuff, that may happen, and that's okay. But it's a lot easier to explain why you picked up the flag as opposed to why you didn't. If you have a score, there's a penalty, it's going to be declined anyway. That's easy enough. As a referee, whatever it is, we'll decline it. Touchdown, right?
The late flag looks like the coach talked you into it.
Exactly. Many years ago, out in the Fiesta Bowl with Penn State, Miami, there was it Ohio State? Is it either Penn State or Ohio State, Miami? There was a really, really late pass interference flag. And unfortunately, the guy lost it in his belt, couldn't get it out, but it really looked like what? He's influencing the game, right? Yeah, go ahead.
Did you just say if there's a score, you're gonna decline the penalty anyway?
Well, depending upon what penalty it is. Sorry, I should, yeah.
You're gonna take it, you get on the drive.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No problem.
Yeah,
And that's another reason for throwing the flag. Exactly right. That's a really good reason. See, that's why we're here, because it helped me out right there. So I didn't look like an idiot. So, all right. So mechanically, when we are starting out, where should we start out? Now, I know it says certain yardages and all that kind of stuff in the mechanics manual. I'm not going to argue with the mechanics manual or anything like that. But what's the most important place to be or distance to be? What determines that? You're down your distance, right? Your formations, what the offense are doing, right? So if you've got trips on this side and one on this side, so wideouts, right? Maybe you need to back up just a little bit so that you can see these guys. Now, one of the things that we do a lot is we run, and when we run, what happens to our head and our body movement? Things change, right? I'm not advocating you don't hustle or move with a purpose, but what I am advocating is that you get to a still position so that you can see the action. And as a back judge, we got to be deeper than the deepest man, right? If I can see without having to really turn my head the whole play or the whole line right here, I'm in good shape. But if I get real close here, now I can't see these guys right over here, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a distance. Now, obviously the goal line comes into play, right? I'm just talking normal downs and distance, right? I'm not talking necessarily the goal line because we know we got to cover there differently, right? But that's what we need to do. And as the play develops, we back up with it, right? Okay. If it warrants it, if we rerun, then we don't necessarily have to move back very quickly. How do you read or what do you see when you have keys or responsibilities? What do you look for? What do you look for?
How to tackle blocking.
How the tackle blocks, right? Does he fire out? Does he pass block, right? Good indicator, right? And if you're back like this, you know exactly whether they're pass blocking or not, right? Mm-hmm. If you're up too far, then all of a sudden you have to look and see what's going on here and do this. It makes it harder to see the tackles, right? I'll skip that because if you don't know what pass interference is, we've got a problem anyway.
Here, can I ask a quick question? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the keying in on the tackle for the tight ends, formation is. How do you adjust that for the evolution of RPOs though?
That's a good question.
What was the question?
How do you adjust for RPO offenses? All right. You don't adjust very well, but you have to look for your receivers and see what they're doing. Most of the time, they're going to tip you off. If they go deep, you're going to have to go deep, right? Okay. It's not a whole thing where I mean, if you know that they're an RPO offense, tackle probably is not going to help you out. May have to go middle guards, right? Okay. But a lot of times, what's going to happen on the RPO? It's going to be a quick patch, right? So that's where your wings, and that's where you need to talk in pregame. Say, okay, we know they're running RPO, so this is where I need you to help me. Okay, because if my guys go this way, I got you guys. You worry about these guys. That make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Everybody's going to get one of these, and this is a good thing from the standpoint of classifying pass interference in. I think it's mostly defensive pass interference here. There's a couple offensive categories that probably touch on just a little bit. But if you have a foul, and you have this brochure right here, if you have a pass interference foul, get in the habit of classifying what it is. What was it that made it a pass interference foul? Granted, there could be combinations of these, or they could be synced, right? Playing through the back. Man, that's going to be the hardest thing for back judge to look at, unless it's obvious, right? Because what's going to happen when they make that turn and run down, makes that turn right there, and the guy comes on his back right there. What do you see?
Just
Have no idea when the ball comes.
Yeah,
Right?
ball.
These are the things that you have to talk to and with your wing guys and say, look, when they run that hitch route and they throw it right in there, I need your help there. Because I'm not going to be able to see that unless it's blatantly obvious, right? And we got a video where an umpire throws a flag, and we're not ever going to have to get that. But nonetheless, that's going to be hard. Now the hook and turn, everybody know what hook and turn is, right? Defense playing across, defense over. Yeah. I don't know why that's good.
It's catching up from those times you pressed it before.
Not playing the ball, that's pretty obvious, right? That's head's not facing him, right into him, he's not playing the ball, right? Grabbing the arm, you gotta be careful, is it significant, right? We can have an arm play, we can have contact, whatever, but it's gotta rise to a level where it's significant. Cutoff's kind of one of those things that's hard to define, and I will tell you in some of these videos, we won't play the sound, but they will actually say, he cut off the receiver. Well, it could be early contact as much as it is cutting off the receiver. And early contact is obviously what it is, right? It gets their football use. Yeah. So if you can classify those, it makes your job a lot easier, especially if you explain it to the coach. Coach, you got there early. And early contact, right? Coach, hook and turn, right? Okay.
I had cut off in a game with a young wing.
Mhm.
Throws his flag. I throw my flag. He goes and says it's offensive pass interference because the receiver ran into the defender. But you could see the defender jumped in front of his path, slowed down, put his arms out like that, and yeah. So I mean those are same thing you talked about before.
Yeah, we always.
You gotta kind of go
Yeah,
communicate and
yeah.
talk. Yeah.
And there's equal opportunity to the routes, right? I mean, the receiver doesn't have his own, he can go wherever he wants to go, right? Because the defensive back always has equal opportunity to each side, right? But nonetheless, he can't take off the route intentionally like you were saying, right? Let's
Get some videos. So real quickly, not playing the ball. I changed this obviously a few years ago. You gotta have contact, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm face guarding and I don't touch that defender or that receiver, it hits me in the back of the head. Is that a foul?
No.
Not. Can't tell you how many clips I got last year saying, is this a foul? Sure enough, that's what happened. They never touched the receiver, but our back judge threw a flag. That way he was interfering in his ability to catch the ball. I said, was there contact? Well, no. Gotta be contact, right? Yes.
And I kind of blew through slide right before the said word come. All right, so. All right, so what we're gonna look at on this video is this one should probably be obvious to everybody, but I'm just gonna let it loop. And we're gonna look at it real quick. And you're gonna see right about the 25-yard line down there at the. Yeah. Yeah. It may be that this thing back. All right, so what I want you to take note of is exactly what's happening. Is he playing the ball?
No.
Did he run him off his route?
Yeah.
Pretty much, right? They kind of go together, right? Did he turn his head to look for the ball?
No.
And probably if you look at it enough to verify what you're doing, you'll see the defensive guys go, what? Right? I'm not saying you officiate like that, but that makes you feel a whole lot better when they go, what did they do? Right? Because if they come up with that kind of symbol right there, it's most of the time they're guilty, right? Unless they're blatantly obvious. Now let's talk about the back judge's mechanics, right? Is he in good shape there?
Yes. Yeah.
See if we're to the back something. How could he have done that better? Or could he have done that better?
I mean,
He could have gone deeper initially and stopped. Yes.
Exactly. Could have come deeper and stopped, right? Or he could have backed up when he saw the route.
Yeah, significant distance between him and the press.
He did. But what is he also doing? He's backpedaling at the same time, trying to backpedal and watch the action, right?
Yeah, in your head, it's,
Some people can do that.
you're moving. Yeah.
Some people can, a lot of people can't.
I'm just saying.
Did he clearly see the play? What do you think he's saying?
yes, I think.
That was a attack from the defensive player.
That was his key too, wasn't it?
Probably.
Let me ask you this, who thinks that's a foul?
You think what?
Who thinks that's a foul? Who thinks that's not a foul? It's like charge, you know, and
Block charge.
block, charge. And
So what's gonna make it a foul, and for those of you that said it's a foul?
The receiver can't actually put his hands out.
Ball's
In the air, he's not looking at the ball. He made contact with the receiver.
You guys small.
That's it right there.
I don't even need to see
Contact.
Possibly restrained.
Why does it,
Show me that
why does it not rise to a foul if you're not gonna throw it? And remember, if it's in the first quarter and the fourth quarter, we shouldn't really be changing our judgment unless we got a blowout, right?
That's a good.
And then that might be a little different basis, right? We're just trying to go home, right? Because there are those situations, right?
District contact from both sides at the same time.
There is, but is he playing the ball?
No, it's not.
That's what makes it more of a foul than anything else. Right, stop it.
He got beat. And then he tried to overcompensate by playing the guy, stubbed the ball. He didn't even see the ball.
Don't throw your hands up. Just.
Early in the zone.
Very good times.
Okay, so as this play, and you can look at it because it's
Yeah,
got.
we'll just loop it.
First thing I want you to do is on this is note the formation and tell me if there is any key that you would be on. You're gonna have two down on the bottom side, you're gonna have one on the top side, and then you're gonna have backs back this.
Well, good.
Who are you keyed on or who are you responsible for? They're not press coverage, right? So it's really kind of opens up your cone of vision, right? So you can kind of look either which way, right? Because you got deepest sky, but nonetheless, you got two on this side, one on this side, right? Okay, this is something you probably talk about in your pregame when you talk about pass coverage. Okay, I got doubles here, trips over here. I'm gonna slide over here, so whoever the wing is here needs to help me a little bit, right? Unless he releases deep. But since they are not in press coverage, does it really matter who I key on right now?
No.
Okay, now there's contact by the number 2 receiver right here at the 45-yard line, or at the 848. Actually, is that legal? I know we got a foul down here. Okay, all right, we got. Is that contact right there legal?
Yeah, ball's not in the air and he's still a potential blocker.
Is that legal?
You have to determine if he's no longer considered a blocker.
Yeah. He's still a potential blocker.
Now,
Yeah.
what happens when the coach tells you that my receiver was contacted right there? Why wasn't that pass interference?
Exactly. Pass.
Exactly, right?
All in there.
He's really not, he's still a blocker. He's still in front of you, right? Ball's not released. There's no contact there, right? Coach, that's not pass interference. Ball wasn't in the air. He was still a potential blocker, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. So you know that because you're the back judge, because these outside guys are probably not going to see that because they got other things that are focused on, right? All right. Now let's go a little bit further on downfield. Okay. Now let's discuss the mechanics of the back judge. What's going on there?
Deep enough.
Yeah, he got the foul, that, and to his credit, but he's on the dead run, right?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Inside.
Go ahead. What'd you say? I-
Two on one club.
Okay, yeah. So does he need to be on a dead run over there? This is where you can settle back because you got deep guys, right? Because you still have the potential that the ball goes that way. Probably not because he's rolling this way, right? But we're not really looking at the ball. We shouldn't be ball watching, right? We should be watching our receivers and our action downfield, right? Still got that action over there. You got this action right here. If I back straight up, I still see those guys, right? And then where am I going to stop?
Goal line.
Goal line. When the goal line comes up, I'm gonna stop unless they go into the end zone and then I'm stopping at the end line, right?
Yep.
Okay, all right. So he can officiate that action without having to be on that dead run if he just backs up, right?
Absolutely.
And I know sometimes we don't get the benefit of the doubt. A lot of times on videos there because everybody says you're way too deep, you're not even on the picture right there. You know, you got a response for that. Say, I saw the whole play, coach. I saw the whole play, Charlotte, right? Right? And as long as you do that, he can't hurt you, right? As long as you're officiating the right area. Yeah. All right, next best play.
Harry,
Yeah.
Yes.
you know, by manual, it
Yeah.
states 20 yards.
Yep.
Okay, and I know there's a reason for that, because I think historically there's some back judges who kind of camp out, you know, a little deep. So would you suggest that in this situation that, you know, depends on this formation, you start at 20, kind of cheat back a little bit, point to formation, because, you know, there are people who want to go straight without a name, you know.
Yep.
And, you know, if you're sitting at 20 yards, you're going to get caught.
Yep.
Situations like this. So basically, prior to snap, starts at 20, evaluate, that kind of cheat back in that process there.
Yeah.
That-
What down? So right now we're at midfield, right?
Yeah.
We're at the 48, 50-yard line, somewhere out there, right? Yeah. What's more important right now on first and 10 situation?
The playing the game. Seems like.
What do you think that they might do, right? If you know it's a passing team, then pass 60-40%.
Yeah.
So they're gonna.
You need to be deeper, right? Our problem is in our you cannot write a mechanics manual for every situation and be dead by the book all the time. It's a guideline, right?
Does it say 20? Because we used to say 20 to 25, and
Yeah.
depending on if it's a passing team.
Several years ago, I was VP of SCFOA and president, and I did the mechanics and all that kind of stuff. And that number was there, and then it was there when I started. So when we first started officiating 30-something years ago, if some of you are as old as I am. So what was the tendency for when we first put the fifth official out there? Tendency was run, right? Option plays, right? Sometimes wishbone. I've never seen wishbone, full house backfield, right? Okay, so did you need to be 25 yards?
No.
No, right? Because chances are they're gonna throw one long pass, right? So Oklahoma, way of old wishbone time, they run right, run left, run right, run left. Keith Jackson throw the pass over, right? Yeah. Now, what are our offenses moving to? Throwing it all around, right? But are they throwing deep?
No.
Sure.
The tendency for the offenses as they have evolved right now are to run the 5s, the 10s and outs, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's something we have to study what the plays are. And if you watch football on Saturday, Sunday, guess what? They're gonna probably run the same kind of plays on Friday because that coach is probably watching the same thing that you are.
And so, Alan, is your question, should you be deep? Is that what,
Well, you know,
Yeah.
you want me to answer that? Yes.
Yeah.
Should be deep. I have gotten much deeper as I got one and got older.
Yep.
2, I got hurt, getting hit on the first play, first game here. 3, they stay 17 and 18 and I get a year off. If you were 20 yards, you're going to get beat. If you're at 25, you probably eventually will get beat too. And Terry made a good point. You're at the most important line is the goal line.
For you, yeah.
Absolutely.
For us.
For us, it's the goals. Because they're probably gonna, and if they've been throwing it, their coach is probably thinking, this is my shot, this is my shot. First and 10, we'll give it a shot. And so why not cheat a little deeper? You can see the field no matter at 20 or 25 in front of you. But the goal line is the most important line right there. So sure, 20 to 25, I've been more 25 all last year and I'm better.
Yeah.
Because teams are throwing it all over. And you're right.
Yeah.
It's that little
Yeah.
flare pass out there and they're hoping that little skinny receiver gets loose and he is gone.
And I think the biggest problem we've got nowadays more than anything else is that I don't know that deep is a problem. It's that if you don't do anything afterwards, where it becomes a
Yes.
problem.
Yeah.
If you are totally out of the play at the end and you're not involved, that becomes a bigger problem and why they point to you're too deep. Because that's the easy cop out, right? You're way too deep. But if you're deep and you recover and help in the play and box in like we do at the end of every play, I don't think you're gonna hear any comment about how deep you are.
You won't. You absolutely won't.
I think that's the big thing.
You will hear it if you started at the 20 and you're at the 10 when that guy's going across the goal line.
Yeah.
That's true.
I just think it runs on the back.
Exactly.
It
It's
is.
easier to close forward than it is to back up and try to get behind. This is the thing.
Yeah.
All right. So this is just an example of bang bang. It happens on the 10-yard line. Back judge, and I don't know why the umpire decides to throw the flag, but if I had back judge and that umpire throws the flag, I'm coming up and telling him, what are you doing? Why are you not watching your line? Awesome.
Yeah. I was wondering.
I think we could just pass that one. I'm sorry. All right, this play needs to develop a little bit. Okay,
That's right.
so we're inside the 5 now, okay? We're 4th and goal inside the 5, okay? And if we can stop it, that's good. If we can't, that's fine. All right. So just let it leave. So if we are inside the 5, where should the back judge be?
In line.
And it's okay if he's shaded over a little bit because they're all over there on that side, right? But we don't want to shade too far, right? Okay, if we shade too far, what do you think they're going to run here?
That's-
Right? Or some reverse or something, which is exactly what they do. And see where the back judge stays on the inline, he's got complete view of what just happened right there, right? Now, we can debate whether that's a foul or not. And I'm gonna, how many people think this is a foul? Go ahead. Oh, yeah.
Contact for the ball.
Who doesn't think it's a foul?
Doesn't think it's a foul. Who doesn't know?
Who doesn't care? I mean, what do you think?
Who's
Yeah,
who's quite
This, this red.
That one.
So is this pass interference?
Absolutely.
If you think it rises to a foul, what bucket or what category will you put this in?
Early contact.
Definite, what category would you say that is?
Early contact.
He is trying to break down.
Oh. And folks cut off.
I mean,
That's
so
totally unfair.
it's third quarter right now, it's 14-0, it probably doesn't matter and all that.
Ball,
stuff.
man.
But what if it's less than 2 minutes in the game, 4th goal, and the score is 14-13?
Still got to have the same foul.
Does that change your mind any?
Man.
I hope not. But it probably does a little bit, right? Makes you think process. So when you're processing the foul, right? When you're processing whether it's a foul or not here, do you think you're gonna get downgraded or not on this?
50-50.
Be honest with you, it's judgment. It's gonna be a judgment call.
Now, for those of you that, anybody want to raise a hand and say why they don't think this is a foul? Anybody want to tell me? Go ahead, tell me why.
I just got the action of the defender is following the receiver. And he's trying to adjust as that receiver comes back. He was just trailing him.
If you look, so he's breaking down right there, then he's also trying to get his head around. He's not even looking at the receiver anymore. Because he sees the receivers crash before a pass that's on the short quarterback.
Yeah.
The passer gets hit right here, so it's, you know, it's not purposely throwing a short pass. I think you let it ride.
I'm curious how many people would call that PI in real time. I mean, we've got the great advantage of seeing this slow mo.
You're exactly right. And that's the one thing that's a good point, because we're looking at this over and over again, right? You got one shot at it, right?
That's true.
How do you justify if he takes it back for 6 points? He intercepts the ball and goes. He's not that receiver on his route, and he's intercepted the ball. He's gone down for 6.
Is he throwing flag? You throwing flag? So are you throwing flags?
I was my ball was short. Lose the receiver there. That's what I'm saying. Why, I'm saying, what happens is White.
Pass was
How
short. It was never got.
do you justify if White intercepts that ball? He's clearly at 5.
So this is kind of what, yeah, so,
Hey, you know, that.
all right,
It looks like the receiver
Now-
comes back and makes contact with the defensive back.
yes. Purposely have this.
Look.
Yeah, purposely have this in here for this discussion reasons. Exactly, right? If you have justifiable reasons and you can put it in the category, then you know it is a foul. If you have doubt in your mind that that is there,
Okay.
irregardless of what may or may not have happened, right? It's not a foul, right? But you need to be able to justify that to see if it warrants a flag or not. Now, one of the things that we don't have a very good philosophy on, and I would tell you that there are some philosophies in other leagues and all that, that if it's an underthrown pass, we're gonna allow that contact to happen and not necessarily call pass interference because it's underthrown. Because it put the defender at a disadvantage.
Right.
Because they're doing that on purpose a lot of times too, right? Okay, that's not, we don't have that here, as far as I know. Right?
White has the right to exist.
Right.
Yeah.
He can't go anywhere
Right.
else than he is right
Now, you gotta be careful because you can't apply what I just said to what we're doing here if that's not the way the state sees it, right? And so this is where we probably need, okay, this is where we need to have, do we call this or not?
So, great point.
I mean,
My thought would
and
be
maybe,
this.
yeah,
Here's my thought. One, not all contact is interference,
Yeah, yeah.
all right? Okay? So you have to take the context to what's happening, right? Again, I understand what you're saying. Oh my God, the ball goes up and all of a sudden he takes it back for a touchdown. That happens every single play. That can happen 1,000 times, all right? So again, is he interfering with his ability to catch the ball?
Or vice versa. I had the teams back. I thought blue was interfering with white.
I thought it was blue.
But now when you're pointing out there on offense, I'm.
so now I want you to take a look at this real quick, okay? All right, so different scenario, all right?
I thought blue was.
Let it play out.
So, oh,
Me too, yeah.
All right,
And that's where I said, yeah.
all right, so you have the contact, that's still not foul right there, as we said earlier. Now look down below, see the number 150?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll do a side view here.
Yep. So if you look on the sidelines, your wing guy's gonna have to get this because this is not gonna be you because you have guys all the way down, right? But, all right, so it's uncatchable, right? Good, it doesn't matter, right? Not our league, right? Our league, it doesn't matter whether it's catchable or not, okay? We're gonna say that he probably did.
Everybody agree that's a foul? Yes.
Good.
Wow, we agree on
Can I say one thing?
Yes, sir.
I would, since we're all here really.
Yeah.
For the coaches, talk about consistency.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
what you're saying is, in your expert opinion, that what we were really discussing, or should be more of a no call.
I'm gonna,
On the play before that,
Yes.
Yeah,
yes. So again, and it's block charge in basketball, right? A little bit, okay? And if you threw the flag and the coach said, how did he throw that flag? Say, coach, he thought there was interference. Have a good day.
if you said what you said
So
to
for
me,
consistency, I should be thinking more on the lines of underthrown ball.
Right.
Or contact.
Just because there's contact,
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's a foul.
Right.
Okay?
hopefully.
That's what we're here for,
this
man. I'm really glad.
This is that one.
I just thought defense was blue.
I did too. I got the teams mixed
I
up
thought
on that.
blue was the defense on the other team. You thought too?
No, I didn't, but I'm saying, if you're not locked in,
Yeah,
you gotta be locked in.
yeah, I thought blue was.
All right, so here's kind of the same thing that we have, right? We've got a kind of a busted play, sort of, but he really rolls out, it's play action pass. He's meaning to go right, but no, he's gonna roll left. And he's gonna come down the field, and what you're gonna see is you're gonna see the ball underthrown. And there goes the guy with his hands up and he's making contact.
He did make contact.
He did make contact. Now there's another decision that you gotta make on an underthrown pass, right? Okay?
Okay.
You got two flags.
Yeah.
And now you got two flags, right? Okay, so if you got two flags, what are you gonna get together and what are you gonna say to the wing guy?
What you got? What you see?
What'd you say, right? Right? Now, you got one view, he's got the other view. He's got a side, you got the back, right? Process it, but in most cases, if you got two flags, what are you probably gonna do? You're probably gonna stay with it, right? You got two of you that see the same. Same type of foul, right?
The defense put his hands up, but
Last play that we were talking about, you were isolated, right? Because it was you
on top.
only really, right?
He's gonna put his hands up. Put his hands up, trying to block, and basically make contact with the fellow.
Right, couple things I want you to see on this one right here is you've got that same kind of thing, but look what happens right there. Right? So did he have a flag? I don't even know if he had a flag.
I don't think you.
So he let this one go, right? Okay, and there's a return. What's your responsibility? Don't give up on the play ever,
You got
right?
blindside block.
Because now you become the trail on this, right? And you see this lookout, here he comes. And he's lining him up
Yeah.
and he's knocking the dog at him, right? And I don't care whether you use hands or not, whatever, that guy is definitely a defenseless player, right? I mean, I think we're still there because he doesn't raise his hand, so there's no question about it. And you're even getting to the point that you may have targeting there depending on where that contact is that you saw, right?
It's hot. That's hot.
I agree that would be a blindside block.
Yeah.
Above the shoulder.
We gone.
I don't think it really matters whether he's above the shoulder or not in this case.
Oh, it's a blindside block.
He does, it's a blindside block no matter what, because he doesn't see him coming, right? Boom, here he comes right here. And his sole purpose, he comes from the side and he gets in front of him.
If it was on Saturday, it'd be blindside with target.
Lit him up.
Questions about that?
Now,
Yes, got it. Alright.
I kind of put these kind of sandwiched together, but I think the biggest thing that I want to do is maintain a position all the time that you can, right?
Mhm.
Don't get out of position on punts. I will defer to you as far as where we really want to be and let you just lead this discussion.
So, does everybody follow this? Why?
Why? I don't know where they're on the field.
Who stays in front of the receiver? And don't say you haven't, because I've seen it on video.
That's the whole thing.
Why are we in front of the receiver? Literally, the receiver's right there, and you're a yard in front of the receiver, and the punt's coming this way. Is that a good position?
No.
Where do you need to be? You need behind the receiver. Why?
Wide view.
You see this? If I'm in front of the receiver, what do I see? Gentlemen and ladies, I cannot tell you how many videos I see where in front of the receiver. Why? Why?
So
I don't know either.
let me put it in this perspective, okay? So we just talked about pass interference, right? And we talked about having our cone of vision open, right? If I am in front of the receiver, what do I now have to do?
Turning your head.
If I am behind the receiver, what do I have to do?
Let's put it forward.
Not much of anything, right? Maintain that position where you need to be, right? I'm on the white side. Assume I'm on the white side. White side, right? Now I have positioning where I don't have to be on the move or turn my head back and forth. I can see, and I might turn it just a little bit, obviously, but now I can see my receiver. I can also see what the impending impact may be coming to him, right? Okay? That's the reasoning behind positioning, right? Is to help you be able to see the whole play. And you want to see the whole play because you look up and granted, you're probably gonna be following the ball, but for the most part, you're gonna look up and see where's my gunners at, right? If my gunners are tight, well, you know they're coming right down the middle. If they're on the outside, they're coming from this side, so you know kind of where you're at. Obviously, you're lucky if he's coming that way because you don't have to move, right? But you also know if this guy is coming this way. Now, all the other stuff, be alert for signals, know who touches the kick, big back spot. But you also got to remember we got goal line responsibility on punts, right? Got to be on the goal line, okay? Because nobody is gonna help us on the goal line in a punt situation. You got momentum, you got where the ball location is, right? Ball goes across the plane of the goal line, touchback, right? You got momentum potentially, right? So you got to be on goal. So where would you be stopping on a punt in most cases? On the goal, right? If it gets away from, right? Okay, and then you've got to rely on your wing guys to say, okay, you gotta follow that guy, right? Don't always saying in pregame, I got the ball, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I got a situation. The see was catching the ball. I'm behind him, not mad at him. Right? He catches the ball, he goes down, as he catches the ball, he goes down, he catches the ball. And I move, I was field the block, field the right. And so, of course, the picking him because of the ball. So the two wings comes up to me and says, "Mighty Will." I said, "No, that's he ain't that's he got hit." And then they said, "No, that's the ball." Yeah, he did. Right, so it was them two against me. There was I was so pissed because my dancing right there, looking like that, he got that ball, came down on the knee and got him on the. That's how it goes.
You have a knee down on it.
So yeah, control the whole thing.
Yeah, so I wasn't there at the situation, but I had something very similar to that happen as a back judge. And the referee came down and I had a line judge that was a long ways away that said the ball touched him same way. And basically what I said is, I am not moving from here until you give the ball back to the right person. Because there was a recovery for my receiving team. But there was never a touch by the receiver. And I basically, as a referee, you're going to be the guy that I ask, what did you see? And then I'm going to ask the other guys separately what they saw. And I'm going to make my best judgment off of that. But I'm going to primarily side with the back judge. I will tell you that because he is down there and that is his responsibility. Because I'm going to ask the next question when there's a break, what were you guys watching? And if both wings said that, I'm going to ask the linesman, why the heck are you down there?
So, did you have a flag too? You did not have a flag.
It was like bang bang.
So bang bang.
So if we go to, all right, so this is just kind of the end zone view of this right here. This is kind of where we want. You can be a little bit further back, you go a little further side, it'll be fine. But the thing of it is, if you got double receivers, is double receivers becoming a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. If you put yourself in the middle of those two receivers, what happens?
One goes up there.
One of them's gonna block you out, right?
Yeah.
Right? One of them's gonna block you out. But this is kind of what we like to see as far as the spacing. You can say he might be a little bit farther to the goal, to the sideline side, and I'm okay with that. And you may be a little bit farther deep. I'm okay with that too as well, if you are okay. But that's kind of, the angle's probably not really good coming from.
I should be on the linesman side on that, because in the middle of the field.
Yeah, we'll assume he's on the linesman side for my video purposes. All right, so what I also want to do is, see is how he's gonna start right here, but he's gonna back up. You see him back up here shortly. Okay, now he backs kind of back up to, he's about 3 to 5, somewhere like that, off to the side there. Now, what I want you to watch is on the return, what he does too as well. So we got a short return. What do you think of his mechanics on the return?
Too close. I think he should have hesitated a little bit because you got guys behind him. You don't know.
He's trailing at that point. Should be.
Should have got that far over.
No.
Where should he be?
Middle,
It's not inherently a bad mechanic that he did, right? I mean, there's a little bit of things that we might say he could do this or might say he could do that. But the thing is he didn't just run right up into the action, right? He stayed back, watched and trailed the action, much the same way as if a referee or umpire would do as the play goes downfield and all that kind of stuff, right? Because you got to turn it over the wings because the wings got the sideline and down to the goal, right?
Right.
Okay. But that's good positioning. Maybe he doesn't need to go quite as much, but the reason I put that in there, we put that in there, is because we wanted to make sure that you understood, does that look like he's being lazy? Or does that look like he's moving with a purpose? Doesn't look like he's lazy, right? Okay, now he's not speed demon, and we don't expect anybody to speed demon anymore, right? We expect him to move with a purpose, and he just pretty much follows the play into the end zone, right? And he's got cleanup duty. Maybe he needs to be over towards the middle a little bit. The sideline is going on there too as well. So that's kind of where the action is going. But you also have all these other players off to the side, right?
You had a player behind him still.
What's that?
He still had a player behind him.
You had a player behind.
Yeah.
And the important thing there is not just a player behind.
Yeah, but there's
You don't want two opposing
Yeah.
players.
Yeah.
Good point.
That's why he took his time.
I don't care.
If you got two opposing players behind, you better stay there and watch them because they're gonna do what you want them to do. Almost guaranteed. They're gonna take their shot.
So let me ask y'all this question. When each team, when they punt, first time you get each team, the receivers, you talk to them?
Yes. This is it.
I tell them, if you want a fair catch, let everybody in the stadium know.
None of them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know how to fair catch. Yes, sir. Make sure everybody in the stadium knows. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Let's find out who the deep receivers are.
Do that. Excellent. Excellent.
The only problem we got with that is the time that we're supposed to be on the field, what typically is happening? They're leaving. So that's why it's important to kind of get that time with Kenny. I skipped that too.
I got a question.
Yes.
So you go back to those double receivers, and I don't know if you guys have seen this. What I've seen happen with that.
Uh-huh.
So you got the double receivers there,
Yes, sir.
and right at that point, you got the gunner coming down and make that tackle.
Yeah.
I've seen them where that second receiver who's not catching the ball will peel off at the last second and take out that person who's coming in for the tackle.
Yep, and that's what you've got to rely on. When you see doubles there, what are you gonna tell your wing guys in pregame? If you got double receivers, what are you telling them?
Up on the shallow blocks there.
What'd you say?
You got all.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, I got the ball, so wherever the ball goes, you need to help me on the other receiver. It may be the linesman, it may be the line judge. Probably the line judge is better to do it because he's coming down, right? But that's your communication. If we got doubles, don't assume that they're gonna take care of that guy. Make sure as a back judge, you say, I need you to take the receiver that doesn't have the ball. You need to take him. I've got the ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you tell him that, then you're telling him, I need you. He's more apt to do what you need to do, right? If you say, who you got? That's in the pregame, you take the lead. Most of the time in my pregame, I'll always have the back judge do the punt because I want them to tell me, and I want them to tell the crew, more importantly, what they're gonna do so that I know how to help them officiate.
What?
Yeah, okay. So a couple things here. All right. Why is positioning important? Uh-oh.
Wow.
Now I'm not sure why we got a beanbag thrown. And now we're gonna kill it.
First touching by the.
And we're going to put the tip of the ball on the other side of the yard line. So, purpose is not to make fun of people, but here's 3 things you don't normally associate with what happens if you're not behind the receiver. Uh-oh. You got no, what are you officiating right now? Only that ball, right? You got no idea what's happening around, right? Okay, And obviously, we rely on you as a back judge to make sure that you get the spot of legal touching. First touching.
Listen. This
First
is not
touch,
South
not illegal.
Carolina, but I've seen it happen.
Yes.
I've seen it happen. We're in front of the receiver.
He just throw the bean back on the ball, hit the ground.
Yeah, I didn't see it first.
Right, and that's why we need to understand, hey, do we throw?
I don't know.
Yeah. Obviously, probably got some experience going into this fact
Yeah.
right here. He's probably in the back judge position for early on in his career or whatever, or maybe he's not. But I'm gonna give him that benefit of the doubt. Now,
Ooh.
what's the other thing? What
Gotcha.
happens when you're way deep? Somebody just said something about hitting a receiver early, right? You just told me, right?
Yeah,
Was that kick catch interference or not?
I think so.
Yes, he coming off a block though.
Let me put it this way. Did he contact him? And how did he contact him? How is that guy gonna respond?
That's kick catch.
Good point, good point. Did he come off a block, right? Was he blocked into, right? And I didn't even really look that close enough to look, but the point of it is you need to know how that contact was made, right?
Yeah.
You can't do that when you're that deep.
Fine.
Right?
Teammate.
You're basically out of the play, right? So in this case, he needs to start walking upward, but not overrun it, right? He'll need to adjust his positioning and not get in a hurry, but walk up and make sure he's there. Sometimes you may have to jog because if you're that far deep, you may have to get there, but.
That was like disengage from you, make tackle.
Yeah, that whole purpose is, I don't know whether it's foul or not, didn't really care on this one. I mean, because that guy needs to be where he can see what just happened there, right? That's the purpose of of here. Yeah, you can look it over and over and see whether it's foul or not, and that's okay by me too as well. But what we want to see from this is that there's a fine line between where you're too deep and where you're not deep enough, right?
When he killing the blade situation, we killing the play. We just thought the ball still loose. That does not get you.
It's not touching.
All right.
Well,
So here, one thing I want to address here and all that kind of stuff is where, see if we look back around there. Where is he in position and where should he most likely be in most advantageous position when this punt comes down?
on the goal line.
Goal line, right?
Goal line.
And he's going to plant himself. Why is he coming up? There is no reason to come up, right?
Yeah.
Because the goal line could be threatened, and it was. And he threw up the touchdown sign because.
Is that a touchdown?
No.
It's not a touchdown.
All right,
He anticipated the ball was gonna be caught.
exactly. Anticipate, well, and just in case you want to know, can it happen at home? Yes, it can.
You have to rule that.
That wasn't no.
It can happen at home too, right?
Oh, yeah.
And here's one thing I want to show too.
There he is. Right there.
Here, he's got the ball, right? Is that kid catching interference?
No.
Why?
He received the ball.
Ball has to be where? Is he defenseless?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh. He is defenseless.
So you got a personal foul.
You got a personal foul.
As opposed to.
Do not have, do not kick catch interference because what?
The ball was in there.
Ball's in his possession. Yes.
But defenseless is overridden by the fact he's wrapping him up.
What's that?
He's wrapping him
No.
up.
Does he have a way to protect himself?
No.
I'm not saying he's not
Where's
defenseless.
You're saying he's not.
No, I'm saying he's defenseless, but the foul is in the caveat that the open hands, wrapping him up,
So I thought if he wraps.
or play for the ball.
No.
Would it help? I don't disagree, you might have wrapped him up, but is he defenseless?
Yeah,
No question.
but it's not, I would not call it foul. That's,
If it's the receiver's intention
on
on the ball,
yeah.
can I protect myself?
But the initial, made contact.
Is he defenseless?
He's defenseless. I don't think it's a foul.
You don't think he's defenseless?
How can you say it's defensive and not say it's foul? It don't make sense.
Because he got hit while trying to catch the ball.
Because he was right.
As a referee, I'm okay if you call that kick catch interference too, because he hasn't had opportunity to complete the catch.
You can't say he's defensive, it's not called a foul.
They ruled that as a bump.
But 94P3 tells you it's not. It's not a personal foul if an attempt to tackle by wrapping around. I see what you're saying, but
So,
Nothing was called.
first of all,
You punch based on that video.
He is a defenseless player. And I've thrown the flag, and as soon as the white team gains possession,
well,
killing the play.
Right.
So how are you articulating that foul to like that?
Then I have a defenseless play.
That's not a foul.
You can't be.
No, having
It's a personal fact.
having a defensive player and having that determination is not a foul in and of itself. So how are you? What are you saying?
It's a personal foul, because the line was defenseless, he didn't have a chance to defend.
That's a personal foul for.
Because he's a defenseless player.
that is against the rule of 94.
Right, it's specifically what we covered.
I said that's against what it says in 98. But it is a bounce back. So I
Nine. Initiate forceful contact against a defenseless receiver, and that is not incidental, initiated with open hands and attempt back
Gary.
by wrapping this.
Well, I mean, it can't be out on the discussion. I mean, from if you wanna go back on it, you saw the ball was possessed. However, the initial contact of the defender was the helmet. And he came back up and wrapped him up.
hold on. Let me ask you a question. How did you say that the ball is possessed?
I say it was close, it's hard to tell, he looked like he was in the air,
Yeah.
but his feet were never off the ground.
What do you need to really do to possess the ball?
Control. Control body part.
Some kind of control, right? Does he have control of the ball? When you run that through all the way, go.
It was too bang bang.
Yeah. If, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you call this as possession, you're gonna have a problem defending yourself. Okay? You are a lot better off and will live a lot longer if you just kill this play right there and then.
Right there.
Would we have called, if that was a pass, would we have given him a completion?
No.
Then why would we give him possession on a kick?
And you got the air ball on receiver, you still have the big player in the air.
Good, yeah.
Take it out, it's got the big player, so it's the same thing, it's off the ground, it's still gonna be.
I like the KCI call.
All right, here all I want is on the other slide, it said inline or goal line. During a play, pre-snap, you are on the goal line or you are on the end line. You are never in the middle of the end zone, right?
Right.
Okay, this is a punt play. He gets it right, but unfortunately, he could have been a problem because he came off goal. Stay on the goal line. There's no reason, okay? You can throw the beanbag and adjust it later if you need to, right?
Yeah.
Right? Slides right here. You don't even have to move, you just stand on the goal. Now, yeah, shut up, Larry. This one. Now, just because you're on the goal line doesn't mean you're planted on the goal line in this situation. How do you know that he's not on the end line if you're on the goal line?
You have to go back.
You don't, right? So when this guy drives play, backing up to the end line, staying there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just because we say you're on the goal line at pre-snap does not mean you stay on the goal.
Right.
If the play dictates it goes into the end zone, guess what? That's what you gotta do.
All right, last minute or two. Any questions? Thoughts? Did we get anything out of this?
Absolutely. Already been
I hope there is.
Right.
Hey, and
Great discussion about.
the best thing,
Great.
the best thing that I love about these little get-togethers like this, in this kind of scenario, is we can feed off of each other. That is the
Absolutely.
big thing for
That
me.
was pretty good.
The reverse scenario.
Going down, looking on your own.
Realize it's.
You have plenty of places right downtown, 2-minute walk.
You move out.